Hey guys, Eric and Beth here. This will be our cruise wrap-up video.
After that intro.
Roll that intro.
I just wanna see the light.
Okay guys, before we go too much farther into this, because this one might be a little bit longer one, well, why don't you go ahead and pause the video right here, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Alright, let's get into it.
Final thoughts. We do have notes.
We have notes.
So if you see us look down, we're, going off of our notes so we remember to mention everything we wanted to. So our first is, we were in room 14196 on the 14th floor, pretty midship.
Yep.
Loved the location. I do want to say we were one floor below the pool deck, and we really didn't get any noise from that. And it was really nice because we had a nice, shade over the balcony, so we didn't get a whole lot of direct sun. So that was a great location.
For sure. I think the only time that I ever heard anything was maybe when we were out on the balcony. So, yeah, it was really good. And then we had the extended balcony, so it had the overhang above us. It was great.
The room did seem a little tight. It was only 182 square feet, which, is kind of bigger for some cruise lines, smaller than Disney Cruise Line standards. We found it to be a little cramped for us, being a family of three. We had us and Devin in our room, who is 17 years old and the size of a full-size adult.
Yeah, so it wasn't as bad when the couch wasn't folded into a bed, but once the couch is folded into a bed,
it's real tight.
It's shrunk it in tight. Plus the closet right next to the bed that was pretty tight too.
Yeah, because it was on my side of the bed, so everybody had to come on my side of the bed to get into the closet.
Speaking of having Devin in the room, what do you think of because Disney has curtains and stuff, right?
Yeah, I really wish it would have had some type of privacy curtain between the bed and the sofa in the room. That way, we could pull it in the evenings and get a little bit of more privacy, so Devin could have his space and we could have our space. And the way it was set up for any of us to get dressed, we had to go into the bathroom, which isn't the biggest in the first place, but there was no divider for us to have any privacy to get dressed or anything away from Devin.
Yeah, that was a little inconvenient for sure. Me and Devin just ended up boys' locker rooming it towards the end of it and getting dressed out. But Beth couldn't do that, obviously.
So pretty much while I was getting dressed in the bathroom, they got dressed in the living room area.
Well, another good thing we did find out, wish we would have had this on our NCL cruise, was there was a plug behind the bed. Devin saw it when he was laying on his bed. It was kind of down by where the phone plugs in, but it was enough to plug in our little power outlet thingy that we brought and plug in my CPAP machine. So that was a big thumbs up. It wasn't you kind of had to look for it, so if you didn't know it was there, you would have probably ran a cord across the floor.
Yeah, because there were only 3 outlets that we could find in the room, and they were on the desk. So, and otherwise he would have had to have ran an extension cord from that all the way over to the bed for his CPAP. And if you're 3 adults, we have lots of things to charge.
Plus all the camera gear.
That too. And there wasn't even a power station. There wasn't an outlet in the bathroom either.
Yeah, there was just one of those, what is it, the razor only plugs or whatever. It was in the ceiling next to
was it even an American plug?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was an American plug. But yeah, that was the only one that they had actually in the bathroom. You got one more for the room?
Last thing we want to cover with the room is the air conditioning. Oh. I don't know if it's because they aren't recirculating air because of COVID or what, but we had our knob turned all the way to the coldest setting, and it wasn't very cold. The first night, we had trouble getting to sleep because it was so warm. I'm used to keeping my bedroom about 65 to 70 degrees, and I'd say it had to have been at least 75 to 80 in that room.
I thought it was okay, but it was still a little warm for me and Devin.
So, especially when you're sleeping next to somebody and they give off body heat, it definitely gets warm. But like I said, I don't know if that's from COVID or if that's just the way the rooms always are.
Right.
Okay, the next thing, I really wish the bathroom would have had some ventilation. There's no fan inside of it, so that if it's steamy or stinky, it just kind of sits there. It has no place to vent.
Well, no, that's not technically true. There was a hole at the bottom and the top of the door.
Yeah, there's like a half-inch gap at the top of the door that it vents back into the room.
Yeah.
There's no way to vent it outside of the room, okay?
This is true, yes.
One complaint I personally had wasn't a problem for the boys, but it was a problem for me. When I've been out in the heat and the sun all day, I like to come back and take a cool shower. That wasn't an option for the Royal Caribbean shower because they've got it set up so that it's always warm. I put it to the coldest setting it would go, and it was still fairly warm. It was not as cool as I would have liked it, and I mean, it was still warm enough that it was steaming up the bathroom.
Now, me and Devin definitely like the warmer shower, so we kind of cranked it up a little bit, but even like before it was even warm setting, it was pretty hot. So, you had to kind of barely turn it up, which isn't a complaint for me, but like maybe someone with small kids, you need to watch that, especially like if they're like, taking a shower by themselves, you might want to test the water before you put the kid in there.
Another thing about that shower. So, most hotels and such provide you shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Royal Caribbean has a dispenser on the wall that has a shampoo body wash combination and no conditioner whatsoever. So we used all of our own shampoo and conditioner. So if you need conditioner also, like we all do, you make sure you pack your own. I did sometimes use their shampoo body wash as just a body wash, but I never used it as a shampoo.
Yeah, I pretty much used it as a body wash sometimes just to conserve when I wasn't snagging Devin's soap. But other than that, I wish they would have had conditioner for sure.
One other complaint, it's just a nitpicky one. The sink in the bathroom was rather small. We like to wash our cups. We did have the beverage package or a beverage package, so we had the reusable cups. I prefer to wash mine, especially when you're having soda and very sugary beverages in them that are going to make them sticky. I like to actually use soap and water to wash them every day, and it's not the easiest with the size of that sink.
Yeah, it was kind of like not like a straight on sink. It was kind of turned sideways, obviously for space savings, but the bowl itself, the bowl itself was a little bit deeper, it probably would have been more usable. As it was, we splashed water out fairly easily of the sink trying to rinse our cups.
Our next topics are going to be COVID related. We did sail in February of 22, so we still have quite a bit of COVID stuff going on. And because of that, we did have an itinerary change that we found out about a month ahead of time. Our original itinerary was supposed to be Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, St. Thomas, St. Martin, and St. Kitts. Our St. Kitts and our Punta Cana stops got canceled and then replaced with Nassau and Labadee, Haiti, which is the Royal Caribbean resort. So you have to be willing to have changes.
Yeah, be flexible, basically. We did have shore excursions booked at the other places. Like St. Kitts, I was really looking forward to the train thing, but that got canceled, obviously. So just be flexible. It was just a little bit more annoying. They refunded your money fast enough for us that we just rebooked.
And like the Labadee, Haiti, it took several days once they announced that it was going to go there, before they started posting the shore excursions they were going to offer.
Yeah, they had like a couple right out of the bat, but it was nothing we were looking for.
So you really had to check back often on that. And I know like with the first change, when they knocked off St. Kitts, when they knocked off Punta Cana, they just weren't going to offer the original excursion we booked. So we booked another one, and then they completely took that stop away. So then they had to cancel and refund that one. So, you just have to be flexible and be willing to adapt to change.
Yeah, it was a little bit annoying, but it really wasn't bad. We haven't been to the Dominican Republic or St. Kitts, so those would have been cool. But we also hadn't been to Labadee, their private island. So that was kind of a neat stop.
One thing we did have to do was wear masks at all indoor places.
Except for in the fully vaccinated guests areas, masks were optional. So if you still felt unsafe and you wanted to wear a mask, you could, but it was optional for those things. I think even in the event on the app, it tells you.
Yeah, like for our shows that we did, you can choose family, which is for all vaccination statuses, or you can choose vaccinated guests only shows to make reservations for. They were also cleaning very frequently.
Oh my goodness, like all the time.
I mean, like handrails and the stairwells, they probably easily cleaned those like every hour.
It seemed like like there was someone like walking around with a bucket cleaning those constantly. Yeah, so
I do know because of COVID with the drink machines, somebody else was there doing it for you, as well as the soft serve ice cream machines. Someone was there doing it for you, but it didn't make any difference. I mean, you still got your ice cream, you still got your drink. Definitely felt safe.
Yeah, and with the drink thing too, just a quick note, if you didn't want ice or wanted a lot of ice, you could just tell them. It's not really inconvenience. You just tell them, hey, I want the great Powerade, but no ice, because of course we all have different preferences for beverage temperatures. But yeah, that was really good. And the ice cream thing, because sometimes I suck at getting the ice cream to like get onto the little cone, and it topples over.
And I'm sure kids, would do that quite a bit too.
Yeah.
One thing that was because of the COVID was that the ship refresh was postponed.
Oh yeah, so the Allure of the Seas and Oasis of the Seas were supposed to be amplified. Amplified basically means they were bringing it up to the standards of the other Oasis class ships. So they put on the Ultimate Abyss slide on the back. They refreshed the rooms. They added some restaurants or something. But so the Oasis did get refreshed, but Allure did not get refreshed because they decided it was right when everything hit. So they made a company decision not to spend the money to amplify the ship. For us, it was okay because we haven't ever sailed Royal Caribbean before, so we don't know what the amplified ship looks like. But it would have been nice to have a few, like the Ultimate Abyss. Maybe Keith could throw a picture of the Ultimate Abyss up here. It's just basically a slide. It's not like a water
very
slide.
High slide.
Yeah, but other than that, the ship was fine. You could tell it was just a little bit older, and you could tell that maybe some of the maintenance is being deferred, so when it does go into dry dock, everything will be updated at the same time.
So our next section is going to be shows. We did catch 3 shows. Comedy shows just aren't our thing, so we decided not to go to that. We seen the ice skating show, which is Ice Games, which is kind of Royal Caribbean's take on Monopoly, except for like each stop that it landed on was a Royal Caribbean
restaurant or area of the ship.
So it was really neat. I'm really impressed with how well they could ice skate on a moving ship.
Oh yeah, and it was like one of the days when we were out actually in the Atlantic, so it wasn't like a gentle roll. It was kind of like going, so I was impressed.
There was the very rare occasion where somebody fell down and they just got up and got back at it.
I know, it was impressive.
And it was really a good show that I really enjoyed.
I would definitely see that show again. Didn't know what to expect. I really hadn't seen like many videos or anything on that, so it was highly entertaining, and I would definitely recommend. What do you think of like the amount of people that they allowed? Because for all these shows, we had to make reservations.
Yeah, you were supposed to make reservations, and they asked your name when you got to the theater. And then I think like 15 minutes before showtime, they're supposed to allow people in without reservations, but they were still letting people come into the theater after the show started.
That's kind of one of my pet peeves a little bit, especially for shows like that, is I know people have schedules and stuff, but when things are starting. But it just seems disrespectful for the performers, to me, that people are still coming in and finding seats and stuff.
And we had a group in front of us that they had like 5 people that came in after the show started. And then after it started, then the one girl got up and had to leave again. And then she came back with somebody else. And then she had to get up to go to the bathroom. This was only a half an hour to 45-minute show.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how many times she was getting up in front of us. Everybody that she was sitting beside of had to get up because she wasn't sitting on the aisle. So they all had to get up, which was blocking our view too. So it was just rude.
Yeah, so I feel like if you're going to do shows like this, make sure you're there on time, a little bit early, so you get a seat. And if you do have to get up frequently, sit on the end of the aisle so you're not bothering the people behind you.
I do want to say, if you don't like the cold or the cool, since it's an ice skating theater, it is a little cooler in there, and some people did bring sweaters. So if you're more sensitive to that kind of thing, you may want to pack a sweater. Up to you. I didn't need one, but I like it cold.
Yeah, I didn't need one either. I had a t-shirt, or my dress shirt on. You saw Mamma Mia. I didn't see Mamma Mia.
Morgan, Jamie, and I, and Devin went to see Mamma Mia. Devin decided to leave at intermission. Morgan, Jamie, and I stay throughout the whole thing. It is a full Broadway production, and it is 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes long. We decided to do it on our last C day. It started about 2 o'clock, and we always had an early dinner, so I was rushing to get ready for dinner.
It was close, and I didn't go see it, not because I didn't want to see it, just because it was our last C day, and I wanted to enjoy the time on the balconies, why I didn't go.
I did enjoy the show. It is a full Broadway production with a Broadway cast, and it is Broadway quality, and no filming or recording of any type or photos were allowed because it is a Broadway show and copyright infringement stuff. But loved that show. Quite impressed. Our last show that we chose to see was the Theater in the Aqua show. The Aqua... Oceanaria. Oh my goodness. The things these people can do on a moving ship is amazing.
The high diving acts and stuff like that, it was terrifying and amazing at the same time.
And I mean, where they were diving into was a fairly small pool. I don't know how deep it is, but it was fairly small and just amazing that they could do that. And on top of that, they had aerial acts and trampoline stuff, and just quite amazed by everything. I guess on some days, if it's too windy, they don't have all of the elements.
Yeah, it's kind of a cut down show because they can't do for safety reasons.
But just loved that show. Completely amazed and blown away and above expectations.
For sure. All right. I guess we're moving on to our dining options next.
Oh my gosh.
This is where we shine, guys. We pretty much almost capped everything off on the whole ship.
Okay, so first we're going to start with the complimentary dining options that we ate at. The Windjammer Buffet. We did eat there for breakfast several days. It was nice. They did have several options. They had fresh egg options, made to order egg options. They had fresh pancakes. Oh my gosh, their pancake mix, their batter. I don't know what they use, but it tastes so good.
Yeah.
And me and Devin discovered the banana pancakes. So good. So they do have like fresh banana pancakes. I think some days they have blueberry or strawberry or chocolate chip or just plain pancakes. They also had a cereal and yogurt stand in the morning that had some type of fresh fruit parfait on it that was grab and go. Those things you could actually grab off the thing. Everything else, you take your plate up to the station and tell the server that's behind the station what you want, and they put it on your plate for you.
It was pretty amazing. So yeah, we are still within the times where you can't serve yourself at the buffet, but I kind of like that actually. It kind of seems like it makes the lines not quite back up quite as bad.
And they did have a separate station that had just like scrambled eggs and
like
breakfast potatoes,
pre-made omelets,
bacon, eggs Benedict, which is my favorite, with hollandaise sauce. Let's see, they had fresh fruit stations where you could pick what fruit you wanted. They did have like a donut, pastry, muffin stand that we usually didn't visit. We went more for the fresh stuff. And then they had juices you could choose from: apple, orange, water, tea, coffee.
Yeah. And then like they would also come around after you were sitting down and ask if you wanted to refill a coffee or like another juice or whatever.
They did also have nice little placards on the table that said this table has been sanitized and ready for you. And whenever you sit down, you just flip it over and it says this table needs cleaned. So someone else that comes along knows that it hasn't been cleaned quite yet. And then once the server cleans it, they flip it back over to this is clean and ready for you. And that's with all tables that are around the deck and in buffet areas. So it was really handy.
Yep, I like that. What about the other complimentary one was the Sorrento's we ate at?
Sorrento's Pizza we did eat at. They usually offer 3 types of pizza that changes. The day we went, it was American or pepperoni or cheese. When I went through, they were refilling the cheese, so I couldn't try that. I just got the pepperoni. They also had salads available. You guys got a chicken salad?
We got like a chicken salad, and I got some olive salad thing with like feta cheese in it. It was pretty good.
Did they have like breadsticks or any of that stuff available? I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing the breadsticks, but they probably would have had breadsticks, I would imagine. They also had just like complimentary water and like lemonade to drink.
They did.
And also, but if you wanted to order alcohol, you could do that too.
The last complimentary place that we ate was the main dining room. We did eat there for breakfast once we discovered it, and once we discovered it, we made time for it every morning.
We didn't go back, yeah. It was really good. I mean, obviously, during sea days, it's more busy because everyone's got free time, right? They're not going to the Windjammer, they're going to the main dining for the pre-made omelets and stuff like that, pancakes.
And on port days, there was at least one port where we had a late meet time, so we went to the dining room, and they were pretty speedy. You even though it was made to order breakfast.
For sure.
I did get Eggs Benedict almost every day. Really good. Nice and runny eggs, just the way I like them. They also brought around pastries and donuts that you could eat. They had scrambled eggs. They had made to order omelets. They had parfaits that you could order in your choice of flavors.
Yeah, it was like strawberry or blueberry.
You could also order cheese grits on the side.
The cheese grits were okay, but they brought me the grits and then like a cup of cheese. Usually, I feel like it's better if it's incorporated, but that wasn't a big complaint. I threw a little Tabasco in there. It was good.
But unfortunately, those are the only times we ever ate in the complimentary dining.
We didn't eat like lunch or dinner.
We had we had the ultimate dining package, which meant we could eat as many specialty dining restaurants as often as we wanted to.
Yep, and we did.
I made sure that we took full advantage of that. So the specialty dining that we enjoyed, we had Johnny Rockets for breakfast and lunch. For breakfast, there were some loaded like breakfast fries or hash browns that you could get.
Yeah, like upcharge things. There was a couple upcharge things there, right? So
they had cheese and bacon on them. I'm not sure they were worth the extra money.
I think they were I think they're kind of worth it. They were pretty delicious.
Okay. They were not included in our ultimate dining package. We did also get
the
milkshakes.
Yep.
Would have been extra, but we had the refreshment package, which includes milkshakes. They do have a special milkshake just for breakfast that's maple bacon, and there are actually 3 pieces of bacon in the milkshake when it comes out to you.
It's fancy and delicious.
It was good. And Devin and I both partook in that. Other than that, I think we just got like bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, it was pretty basic, just sandwiches, but they were good.
Lunch, when we went, we all got milkshakes. Devin and I got the cookies and cream one, and Eric got the strawberry one. And the cookies and cream had definite pieces of cookies in it. And we also had burgers that were pretty darn good. And we got onion rings and french fries.
Well, I think actually, and the good thing about Johnny Rockets is that I didn't know is they'll bring you refills of your onion rings and french fries.
Oh yeah, we had like our whole plate, or our whole table was full of french fries and onion rings. And he's like, "Do you need more?" No.
We're like, yeah, we're good. Thanks though. It's like food challenge because like if you eat too late and then you have an early dinner, yeah, it's food challenge time. But
you can also get flavored sodas there. So I'm a sucker for cherry Coke, so I did get one of those there, and that's included with our refreshment package. I don't know if that's included with just the dining upcharge you have to pay to go there if you don't have the refreshment package.
Not sure.
The next specialty.
Where's the next one that we ate at? Those chops, right?
Chops. Oh my goodness, I love chops.
We're a sucker for a steakhouse on a cruise ship, I think.
So we had lunch and dinner there. There were a few specialty dining locations that offered lunch on sea days. So we made sure to take advantage of that. And you do need to make reservations for those because I think they only offer lunch for like an hour and a half on sea days.
It's not very long.
So you have to make sure you get in and they book up quick.
Right.
Lunch was very good. They have a steak burger that's amazing. They have several of the options that they offer for dinner available for lunch. Petite filet. It was really good. Our dinner, loved it.
Mushroom soup.
Eric loved the mushroom soup.
Oh, the mushroom soup was so good. It's like, I'm a sucker for truffles, and they had like this truffle oil mushroom soup thing. Oh my gosh, I got that every time. I
am a sucker for cocktail shrimp, so I love the cocktail shrimp. I have never had so much filet mignon in a week as I have in the past, on this cruise ship.
I know. I think I might have burnt myself out on steak for a second, but
Dinner there was very good. I did also try the lobster once, which was an upcharge. I didn't really feel it was worth the upcharge or worth getting again.
It was kind of disappointingly small, right? For the upcharge, you would figure it would be like a full-size big lobster, but it was a pound and a half, and that really is not much.
So, not overly impressed with the lobster, but there are lots of meals that, not everybody cares for. So that was just a personal preference. The next place we ate
at... What about the Brazilian steakhouse? I think that's the next one on the list, right?
Oh my gosh, Samba. I love a good Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh yeah. Talk about food challenge. If you go to one of those places, it's definite food challenge. If you don't know, they have like the red and green puck. So it's like, if it's on green...
They just keep bringing you food.
Every time you're like, okay, I think I need to pause for a second, they're like at your table again with another
steak of meat. Yeah, I think they had a total of 7 different meats that we tried. Plus they had salads and other appetizers that they offered. So much food. There were several appetizers that we enjoyed, and if the server didn't think we had enough, he brought more. We went there the first night of the cruise, so it wasn't terribly busy, and we also usually go for very early dining, like 5:30. So there usually aren't a whole lot of people dining then. So, oh my goodness, our waiter was on top of it and was constantly like bringing out additional dishes besides what was coming around on the skewers.
Yeah, it was insane. It was a heck of a way to start off our specialty dining adventure.
And of course, they had the grilled pineapple, which was amazing.
I mean, they even said that you could come back if you just wanted the grilled pineapple.
Yeah, my server told me, I'm like, I may have to come back just for grilled pineapple. And he's like, oh, come back, I'll take care of you.
But we ended up at Food Challenge almost every night, so that didn't happen. But
it did. The next specialty dining location we went to was Sabor, the Mexican restaurant. We had lunch and dinner there, and they have fresh house-made guacamole, which was really good, and their chips, and we usually had to get more.
Yeah, the guacamole was definitely good. The salsa, in my opinion, it was more like garden chunky, and I don't know.
It wasn't as juicy, it was more chunky.
Yeah, so it was okay, but I prefer like a more, okay, I'm using quotey fingers, authentic Mexican restaurant, that you'd find in the States.
The queso fundido was one of our favorite
Oh my
small
gosh, the
plates
queso
that we
fundido.
got.
Oh, they gave you like this vat of
Melty
molten
cheese with chorizo.
With tortilla shells that you just like scoop the cheese into. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
And then our waiter that we had, first of all, when we went to dinner, we had it a couple days after we had had lunch. Our waiter remembered what we had to drink
Yeah, I didn't even
at
ask.
lunch
He
and just
kind of
brought them to us.
brought it over.
And he remembered what desserts we wanted, which he kind of made us a mixture of desserts. He brought us churros and
Like
the
empanada
chocolate.
things.
Yeah, I think they were like chocolate banana empanadas, but he brought us both of them, and it was amazing.
That was part of a food challenge day again, and I barely could get down the dessert, but I still managed it. I did it for you guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because on sea days, we did have breakfast, probably about 8 or 9. Then we had lunch at noon, and then
Or
we had
noon to 1.
And then we had a very large dinner at 5. So if we didn't get done with lunch until 1 or 1:30, and then we had to turn around in 3.5 hours and eat another big meal.
Let's combine Izumi into like one here. Let's do both. So let's start with hibachi. What do you think of the hibachi side?
I really enjoyed the Izumi hibachi. I'm not a big edamame fan, but the boys like those, especially the extra salt.
Yes.
That's where we ate for Morgan's birthday. She really enjoyed it. The chef was very entertaining, and the couple we got sat with were great, and they even bought Morgan a shot.
It was hilarious. They were social butterflies for sure, so it was fun to have them hanging out with us. They kind of made the whole thing even better. So
they were there on date night because kid was with grandma.
Yeah, I think all in all, the food there was what you would expect from a hibachi place. Really good.
We got
I got the lobster
and beef tenderloin.
And
lobster was so tender, not chewy at all, perfectly cooked.
He fixed so much rice too, and I was like, oh, I'm going back in for seconds on that rice. But by the time I got through the meat, I was like, oh, okay, I can't go for the rice.
Morgan did take her fried rice with her to go when she was done because she wanted to finish it off later. We had desserts of mochi and warm chocolate lava cake that were really good.
Yeah, the mochi was good, although I was super full, and like mochi is a really dense ball of ice cream. Oh, it was delicious, but I barely finished.
So,
and then the Izumi sushi side.
We had it for lunch.
Yeah, and I will say they do offer 1 small plate, 2 main dishes as an option. I was thinking, two large plates seems like I could do that, but it ended up that I probably should have just did the ramen and maybe just pot stickers.
It's an a la carte priced menu, or they offer the price fixed menu, which is 1 small plate, 2 large plates, and a dessert. I think I took the smarter option. I did the pot stickers as my small plate option. They bring out a special soy sauce with the pot stickers that's got extra seasoning in it, like garlic and onions.
And chives or something.
And so I stole that and put it on the side. Didn't let them take it because I also had 2 different types of sushi ordered. They also have sashimi. Eric and Devin got ramen, and
I got the poke bowl, and then I think maybe the poke bowl was too much with a big bowl of ramen because, as you guys know, ramen's like a huge bowl generally. It's not like a tiny bowl, so we did that. That was good. Poke was good. I think the Hawaii spicy poke was better. Just might be biased on that one, but it was still good. good.
I do have to say I got like the crab sushi, and it was amazing. Had real fresh crab in it, not that fake stuff, and it was really good.
Well, let's move Giovanni's up the list and talk about our favorite surprise last.
So Giovanni's is their Italian restaurant. First of all, you can pick an appetizer and then a pasta and a main dish. You can also pick like half-size pastas, but it's still a pretty big bowl of pasta.
Not small.
And I think that was on one of our sea days, so we'd also had a big lunch.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming.
It was definitely overwhelming, and this is like more authentic Italian. So like what you would get in Italy versus, what you think in an Olive Garden here in America, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. Just saying you got to go into it with that expectation because the type of food that they offered was just a little bit different. It's more authentic Italian.
And everybody has their own food preferences, and this just wasn't our favorite restaurant.
No, that's kind of why we moved it up a little bit because
there wasn't anything bad with it. It just wasn't one of our favorites. So instead of dining there a second time, we chose somewhere else to dine a second time.
And where was that?
150 Park Place.
It's 150 Central Park.
Oh my gosh, that place was unexpected to us.
Yeah, we were looking at the menu and we're thinking, no.
And we're like,
we gotta try it, but we don't know. Oh my gosh, the level of food in that place.
And our waiter
was very good too.
What was he called? Our culinary guide. He referred to as himself.
It was hilarious.
We each ordered an appetizer, and then he thought that we needed another one for the table.
Yeah,
to make sure we tried.
Just try this one. We're like, all right.
So he brought us out the braised short rib, I think.
Yeah, it was the braised short rib, and
oh my gosh, that was so much better than any of us expected.
It was like pull apart. You just touched it with a fork and it fell apart. It was so good.
And me and Devin had ordered the scallops, and it's like next time we ordered the short rib because that was so good.
It was very good.
And we decided to try the lobster thermidor, which we had never tried before. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. It was like cooked lobster and mushrooms and a cheese sauce, and then they put it back into the lobster shell
and then broiled it in the shell with the cheese on top. Oh my gosh. The sauce was so good. You had to save bread for that. If you didn't save bread, you failed. But
and they would bring you out plenty of bread. I think they brought us out 2 or 3 things of bread for just the 3 of us.
But yeah, so I got it twice. We both times we went, I got it both times.
Yeah, so the first time we went after we tried the lobster, we're like, okay, we did have Giovanni's booked for twice, and then we had changed it to Azumi because we didn't think we were going to be able to get Azumi sushi. So it's like, well, let's see if we can get Azumi sushi for lunch, and then we'll have this take the place of Azumi. And we managed to get everything shifted around, and we got it for dinner again and loved it.
That place is highly recommended. Don't sleep on the menu. Just go, be adventurous, try some stuff. I didn't know what lobster thermidor was before this. What about dessert too? We didn't talk about that, but we had the fried cheesecake.
Oh, fried cheesecake. It's like a warm, melt in your mouth cheesecake that's battered.
With caramel corn and some sort of whipped cream.
Fresh whipped cream.
Oh my gosh, that was delicious.
Yeah, we all had to get that again.
I got that twice, and then there was a peanut butter tart thing.
Oh, peanut butter chocolate tart that, we all ordered the cheesecake the first time. And then he's like, oh, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this one out for you to all try.
Uh-huh.
So he brought it out for us to try, and Devin decided he liked that one better than the cheesecake. So the second time we went, Devin got that instead of the cheesecake.
Right.
But that place was definitely amazing and highly recommend trying that place.
So, did you think the ultimate dining package was worth the price of what we paid for it?
Oh, we made it worth every penny.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're doing like an 8-day cruise like we did. Oh my gosh.
The sea days, we definitely took advantage of getting a specialty lunch every one of those sea days that we could. Sabor was one of the cheaper places, that you could, if you were paying out of pocket for. So it wasn't the best use of the ultimate dining credit, but, we went there once. We had to try it.
Well, I think it was definitely 100% worth it. And keep a watch on Royal Caribbean's website if you do book these. Because sometimes, before your cruise, they'll offer sales and stuff. So we had it booked, and then Beth, I think it was a Black Friday sale.
It was Cyber Monday
or
sale.
Cyber Monday sale or something. So it's not going to always be that, but
just watch for sales because they had it a lot cheaper than what we had originally paid for.
Oh, yeah. So we canceled and then rebooked with the cheaper price. We did the same thing for Beth's refreshment package. I waited a little bit after I booked mine and Devin's, and hers went way up in price. And then that Cyber Monday thing, it was almost
half off.
half off of what I paid. So canceled that and we rebooked it at the cheaper price.
So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for sales. One downside about the Ultimate Dining Package is we definitely gorged more than we would have.
Oh, yeah, like I said, the food challenge thing, that was kind of like a theme. Because, like, you wanted to try all the things, right? But you didn't have to try all the things.
And sometimes, you know, by the time you ate lunch and then you're ready for dinner and you'd had breakfast, it's like, oh my gosh, I really shouldn't have done that, but we had to. We got our money's worth. And, you know, 150 Central Park and Giovanni's were the most expensive places that you could get, or one of the most expensive places you could get with the Ultimate Dining Package. So we definitely made our price worth with that one.
It was Chops, right? Not Giovanni's?
Oh, sorry. Chops. Yes. Sorry. Chops.
But yeah, we definitely made it worth it. All right, the refreshment package. Tell everyone what we got with the refreshment package.
Okay, so we chose the refreshment package, which you get your Coke cup that you can use at all the Coke Freestyle machines on board. You can also get any non-alcoholic beverage they offer, except for Starbucks.
Yeah.
They still have coffee and specialty coffees on board that are at the coffee shops. You can get those. You just can't get them from the actual name brand Starbucks that they have.
So, I mean, it didn't really affect us that much.
No, we definitely made several trips to the Freestyle machine.
Oh, yeah.
We only found 3 locations for the Freestyle machine. There was one in the atrium area over by Sorrento's, and there was usually somebody there, you know, assisting.
The promenade area, yeah.
Promenade,
like Deck
okay.
5.
And then there was the buffet and the quick service burger hot dog place.
By the flow riders in the back of the ship.
Yeah, what was it, like Wipeout Cafe?
Yeah, Wipeout Cafe, that's what it was.
Oh, that was the other complimentary place we tried.
Oh, yeah, that was part of our food challenge day, but we won't go back to that. But they basically had like hamburgers, hot dogs, and chicken and stuff like that.
Fries, and you can get cheese and chili on your fries too.
It was like a grab and go place, so it was pretty good. Definitely, if you're up on the pool deck, worth your time to hit that.
And you can refill your Coke Freestyle cup every 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, we found that out.
You can't use it on your next cruise. You do have to purchase a new one, but they did have tons of designs.
Yeah, that was what surprised me, because I was expecting like the same cup.
Yeah, we were, afraid that there weren't going to be enough designs to be able to tell all of our cups apart. Oh my gosh, I think they easily probably had enough for a family of 8 to all have different cups.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we loved stopping at the bar to get some virgin mixed drinks. I think me and Devin drank our weight in virgin pina coladas this past week. And Eric liked the virgin strawberry daiquiris. We could have got them with alcohol, but we'd have had to pay for them, and these were included, so why not?
Heck yeah.
Eric would laugh at me every time I come back and with a drink. He's like, you have another drink? I'm like, yeah, I passed a bar.
Yeah, she made it worth it.
So definitely got our money's worth out of the refreshment package. One thing I do want to mention is that we had bought Morgan the refreshment package as a birthday present for her to use for her cruise. And then after her birthday, when she turned 21, she wanted to change it to the alcohol package, and she had to pay the full price for that. She couldn't just pay an upgrade price to change from the refreshment to the alcohol package. She had to pay the full price.
And what the bad part about that is, why she's mentioning that, is because that also includes the freestyle machines and the complimentary coffee and stuff like that. So we bought it and then she paid for it again, once she got on board. So that kind of like, it would be nice if Royal would let you just upgrade, but I guess I get it.
And Jamie hadn't bought the beverage package until she got on board, so she paid for it enough already. And then apparently everybody in your stateroom has to have the beverage package if you want to purchase it. So Jamie had to purchase it too in order for Morgan to get it. So Jamie ended up purchasing 2 drink packages on her cruise.
Yeah.
Which was not cheap. So just wanted to make sure you know that you can't just upgrade it. So make sure if you think you might want the alcohol one, you might want to just go ahead and order or buy that one from the beginning, and definitely buy before you get on board because it is much cheaper ahead of time, and look for sales.
Okay, so I guess we weren't going to talk about shore excursions too much, but we did want to quickly go over the Labadee stop because it's their private island. It's actually part of the nation of Haiti, but it's fenced off, so really you can't get past like a certain spot.
It's just the Royal Caribbean resort that you're allowed to visit. You can't venture into the native Haiti, and natives can't really venture to us. Only specific vendors are allowed in the market. First of all, this is the map they give you, and it looks like it's it's huge. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're definitely going to have to take the tram from here to there. And it's not nearly as big as it looks.
No, it's very walkable for sure. You guys probably saw that in the video, but yeah, it's definitely not that bad.
We could, stand at the bathroom that was over by our cabana and see one of the other beaches.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that far that the map makes it look, and it's really manageable everywhere around.
For sure. And just keep in mind it is a little bit rocky there, so some of the surfaces are uneven, so stick to the main pass.
And you definitely want to wear some type of shoe, whether it's flip-flops or beach shoes or whatever, but you definitely want to do that.
What about the merch there? What do you think of that?
I was kind of disappointed. I expected Royal Caribbean to have a bunch of their own personal merchandise available on the island.
Disney, they have a whole shop on there.
Or more.
Yeah,
just to advertise their island stuff. I don't know if it's because they haven't been going back to Labadee until very recently.
Yeah, I think we were one of the first ones to actually make it back there.
They had one t-shirt that I seen and the one gift shop that was ran by Royal Caribbean on the island that was for their mountain coaster, and that was it. All the rest of the stuff they had were just Spirit jerseys, but I'm not even sure they were branded as Royal Caribbean.
I don't think so.
They were just, not Spirit jerseys, rash guards.
Rash guards, right.
Long sleeve rash guards and snorkeling gear. That was about all they had.
Major, O'Neill or Quicksilver or something like that. What did you think about the lunch options that we had?
They were fairly run-of-the-mill. One thing that was great was they were included.
Oh, yeah.
And we did not have to pay extra for that, so that was amazing.
It was good.
Since we had a bungalow, our attendant did come over and let us know when lunch was ready and offered a cart ride over there, a golf cart ride.
We took off before they did that. Morgan and Jamie caught the cart, but we ended up walking.
We needed to stop at the bathroom on the way there,
Yeah.
so we just went ahead and did that. And they had burgers, hot dogs, ribs.
If you've ever been to any private island, it's pretty much the same. Your standard, barbecue fare. So it was good though. I didn't have any complaints with the food.
No, I don't remember what kind of drink options they had available over there.
I think they had some freestyle machines over by the one thing, but we pretty much stuck with water and the virgin beverages from the bar.
Yeah, that was another thing that was really nice because our refreshment package applied to their island also. So we got our virgin drinks from the bar all day included.
So what did you think of the bathrooms? Did they have showers? I think they did.
The bathrooms were okay. They weren't the biggest size and they weren't attended to very frequently, but there was a shower inside because, when you get out of the water and you've got sand all over your feet, we were kind of looking for somewhere to wash our feet off.
Yeah.
But there were showers in the bathroom if you needed those.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And they had them sprinkled all over the main beach areas, so it made it convenient.
We were at Nellie's Beach. There are several beach areas. Some of them are swimmable, some of them are not.
The main one over by where the zip line was definitely not.
No, that's Adrenaline Beach, and no, it is not no swimming.
They even have posted signs over there.
So the one thing I wasn't very impressed with on Labadee was the water slide.
Oh.
The water slide they had.
The water slide. It was kind of like
it's metal.
Think of a park slide you guys used to go down in like the 80s or whatever. It was like a metal slide all the way down. It wasn't like the modern plastic PVC slide.
And it didn't seem to have a whole lot of water running over it, so I imagine it got pretty hot.
We saw this kid, so he was scooching himself down the slide over by where we were. It was kind of hilarious.
And it wasn't very steep, so it didn't go very fast, and it did not seem to be getting enjoyed very much at all.
No, I wouldn't.
So would not recommend that.
And that's an extra upcharge, right? The slide, the mountain coaster, and the zip line, right?
There are so many things on Labadee that are upcharges. You have to pay extra to rent beach mats. You have to pay extra to do the water park stuff. You have to pay extra for beach chairs. There's a lot of things that are extra on the island. Just know that going in. With our cabana, our beach mats were included. Food and drinks. Food is included. Beverages or, depends on your beverage package you've purchased, but those apply on the island.
So, as you guys may or may not have seen in the video, depending on if it made it in, Caribbean cruises in general, when you get off, I get it, the locals are trying to make money. That's how they survive. That's how, they make their money, but
they're very aggressive.
Very aggressive. like you saw me get accosted there in the video. You know, they say the thing is free, but don't believe that. It's not free. They're just trying to get you up to their booth to sell you something. So I basically was like, oh no, I don't have money right now. You know, I'll be back put the thing back over. I took off, but just be mindful that they're very aggressive. But if you just say no, we don't want anything, just don't ignore them, because then they'll just follow you. But just say no, we're not interested, and they usually leave you alone.
There were also a lot of problems with that at St. Martin at Maho Beach.
Yes.
They were doing hair braiding and massages. There was somebody that would come along and ask you if you wanted to try a sample of the aloe. And our tour guide had warned us ahead of time. She says, don't do it, because if you don't stop them, it turns into an $80 massage.
Yeah, so, and we did see one person, like, they got a little aggressively yelling at the person.
Because the person didn't know that they needed to stop them before it turned into an $80 massage. And then, you know, they expected $80, and the person went into it not knowing they were going to charge $80.
So, yeah, it was a little bit, just be careful, mindful.
And the hair braiding, they said definitely you need to tell them what you want to pay, because otherwise it's like $5 a braid and you can end up with a head full of them, and be mindful of that.
Just negotiate up front, prices up front.
One of the problems I had was I pre-purchased the photo package on board. So I paid $135 for up to 100 pictures, print or digital. Well, I didn't know any better, and I assumed that meant 100 pictures, you could get digital or print. We, went to get pictures taken fairly frequently, but we only ended up with about 53 maybe.
I think that was pretty admirable for, what options we had.
So I thought I could get 50 prints and 50 digitals. No. Got all the prints, and then I had to pay another $50 to get the digitals of the same prints.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't even let you, like, there was 50 prints, they wouldn't even reprint the prints.
Yeah, because
to get you up to your maximum number of...
Because on our boarding photos, there were several that had Morgan and Jamie in them. I wanted to know if I could get 3 copies of that so that I could give them the other 2 prints, and no, they wouldn't do that.
It was slightly annoying. I mean, I don't understand why they couldn't have just reprinted the ones that we wanted, just so we could have gave Jamie, instead of having to do the digital thing, which was an extra, how much was it? $50, an extra $50 for the digital photos.
And we didn't find out that that's what the situation was going to be until the second to the last night of the cruise. So the last day when we went to Nassau, I'm like, well, let's get port pictures, because we need to get some more on there. And so we had 3 pictures taken in front of the ship with the ship, name on it at the port. And then that night they weren't printed.
No, they weren't in the book.
They were on the digital ones. So then, we had to have one of the photographers, since we already paid for it, have it reprinted. And then I had to go back at 10 o'clock at night when we've already had almost all of our stuff packed. All of our stuff had to be packed in the hall.
Yeah.
I had to go down at 10 p.m. and they closed at 10 p.m. to pick up my prints.
Yeah, that was a little bit annoying. I feel like maybe they could do a little bit better for the photo things, because they're obviously the last night everyone is doing this, so the lines were kind of crazy for that. It just seems like maybe, if you paid for 100 pictures, I don't see what asking for like 5 reprinted would have done for them or whatever, because you paid for that, so why couldn't you get it reprinted? Maybe there's a reason.
And I tried going back at 9:30 that evening to pick up my picture. Yeah, they're like, no, it says it's going to be ready at 10. And they close at 10.
They were very adamant about that.
Okay, so now we're going to get to our feelings on Royal Caribbean in general.
Our wrap-up of the whole thing.
I really enjoyed Royal Caribbean. I would say for me, personally, it's still second best to Disney. Disney is still my ultimate high standard for cruising.
I like Disney as well. And then I'd say Royal is probably a close second, just because of their service. I thought was excellent. Everyone was totally friendly. Like you didn't find anyone that was like seemed that like they were having a bad day, even though everyone has a bad day. So they definitely seemed like it was a pretty good hospitality wise.
There were definitely plenty of places to eat and drink.
Oh yes,
lots of places.
We did the food challenge, but we came so close to hitting everything. There was a couple things like the hot dog place and then the ice cream place that we didn't get to, but that just gives us a reason to go back again.
There were also a lot of activities to do for the kids.
I was impressed with that.
They have a lot of even just like pool areas that are dedicated more for the kids.
The splash area was really cool. Like the little lazy river thing in the kids' splash area. The big tank thing that we thought it was a pool, but that was a lazy river. That thing was awesome. I wanted to totally hit that.
I mean, they had like lots of kids' pools. They didn't just have like the one splash pool. They had several pools that were different depths.
Yeah, so if your kid was like 10, they could still hang out with their 5-year-old sister or brother or whatever.
Plus, they had the rock climbing wall on the carousel, and the flow rider, and the zip line, putt-putt. And then that's not even including the kids clubs. We didn't have anybody of age really for the kids clubs.
Didn't really get in there.
Devin didn't care to do the teeny activities.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, those are all things that aren't even included in the kids club activities.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Plus, they had ping pong.
Oh yeah, tons of
so
stuff.
many things.
It was cool to see little kids run up to get ice cream and stuff. Like, that's how you know you're enjoying the cruise.
I wasn't personally overly impressed with the NCL cruise we did, and wasn't so sure if I'd want to book another one. We walked away from Royal saying we'd definitely do Royal again.
Oh, did you just spoil something? Oh.
I didn't say we are.
Oh, okay. Shh. Don't
I said I would be willing to do Royal again.
Okay, yeah. No, that wink, we don't know.
I do have to say that Royal Caribbean has a lot of additional costs that do add up in the long run.
Yeah, you feel like you start out with a really good cruise fare, and obviously you don't have to pay for things, right? You don't have to get the dining package, or you don't have to get the beverage package. It's a more convenience thing, but I really feel like Disney starts out at a higher price, but everything's included.
So there are a lot of smaller price things that add up, but those are your things you choose whether or not you do or don't want to pay for.
Yeah. So, like the key, you can buy VIP access. So, it's like early embarkation to the ship, right? It's priority embarkation. You get a welcome lunch.
They will carry your luggage hand carry any luggage you want them to your stateroom on embarkation day, so you don't have to drag it around with you until your room's ready.
Right, and you have to do that like at the main dining thing. You have a lunch, and you take your bag to the lunch, and they'll do it there.
And the lunch they serve you is from Chops. So, it is a nice lunch.
Right.
It also includes
priority seating for shows, which
it's only on certain shows. Like, we also got priority flow rider times, but that was only for one day.
Yeah, and
it was an hour before it opened.
Yeah, it's an hour before it opens, so it opens at 9.
It opened at 10, and we had to be there for 9.
So generally we were up, but like if you're not an early bird, you're not going to take advantage of that. The thing that I was trying to allude to with the shows is you have to be there 45 minutes early. Now that's okay for some people that are early birds and don't have early dinners or whatever, but like you're sitting there for 45 minutes. I just feel like you're paying for early access, so why can't you show up 10 minutes early and still have a seat? It just seems odd to me.
And it was odd that it wasn't for every show. It was just like one specific show, and there'd be like 5 or 6 times for each show, but only one had key access.
And so also the other benefit was you could disembark the ship early, but if you pay for transportation through Royal to the airport, that doesn't apply to you.
That negates everything.
So you pretty much are limited to whatever your time slot is that they give you for your disembarkation. And they do try to work with you on airport rides and stuff like that. So if your flight's at 11:30, they won't get you off the ship at 11 or something. For me, a couple things that would make the key better.
Well, we didn't mention that the key also includes Voom internet on one device per person that has the key.
Yeah. So everyone in the stateroom has to have the key. So that alone starts out expensive. They give you a per day price, and I should have looked it up ahead of time, but we didn't. There's also a per day price if you want to pay for the Voom internet access. So if you can get the key similarly or like a little bit above the price of the internet, then to me it's worth it.
I would say ultimately the only thing we used from the key is the internet and the welcome lunch.
Yeah,
the
priority embarkation was hilarious because they fed us down to the key check-in, but like Morgan and Jamie just followed us right in the door and got right in too. They didn't
there weren't really any lines there then, so they were just everybody was getting right on.
So pretty much that didn't help us out at all. It would have been to me a more of a benefit if they offered like a key breakfast every day. Now I know there's the limited staff to do this, so maybe that was the problem because other restaurants did have breakfast. Well, not all the restaurants did, but still it would have been nice to have like some sort of dedicated key member breakfast every day. It would have been nice to have like more show options and you didn't have to show up 45 minutes early. Would I do the key again? In the current situation, the way they have everything streamlined, it doesn't make too much sense to me. Like I said, unless the internet, you really need the internet and it's close to a few dollars or whatever above whatever the daily charge is for the internet.
I do also want to mention, that Royal Caribbean advertises that you can chat with with other people on the same cruise in the app, that costs extra.
That's why we ended up all needing the internet, because we had to be able to text each other. It was like $1 or $2.
It was $2 a day, so it would have been like $15 for our cruise, essentially, per person. And if in order for me to chat with Jamie, me and Jamie both had to pay that $15.
So, yeah, it was a little bit inconvenient, so just keep that in mind.
And there is no access on Labadee. There's no internet, there's no cell, there's no nothing.
Well, the cell signal kind of worked for me a little bit. I had cell signal.
Okay.
It took it a minute to actually pick up, but it was like that 3G speed, though. But yeah, it was all right. Just keep in mind, you also need to have international pass on your phone so you don't get hit with huge data charges.
I do have to say, with the the shore excursions that were offered through Royal Caribbean, the meeting locations that were listed on the excursion tickets were not very well defined. Some were better than others.
But like you saw, well, you guys might not have saw, but Nassau was horrible. We walked all the way down the pier, and we're like asking everyone, and they're like, oh no, it's over there. So we'd walk over to the other side, and then, you know, they'd be like, oh no, it's not over here, it's over at that person. So our meeting location was zone 1
through 4
for this, and they didn't have any.
You just had to look around, find people, and ask them what excursion they had.
Yeah. We basically ended up finding a shore excursion person that pointed us in the right direction, but Beth was like halfway down the pier at that point when me and Devin finally found the lady. So NCL did it good, where we meet in a theater, and then we all walk off the ship at this. I know probably right now you can't do that because of Rona time.
Also had well-marked spots at the pier, because there were several shore excursions where we met at the pier, but they were very well marked.
Yeah, it was like marked off with a sign and everything, so we knew. That was a little bit something that Royal could do better.
And another thing was with the shore excursions, that even though they were during lunchtime, none had really any lunch offerings. So we usually ended up coming back to the ship hungry.
Oh yeah. The last day, the walking tour thing, we had planned on going to the Hard Rock, but sad note, all Hard Rocks seem to be closing because of the situation. So we didn't end up eating on the island like we were thinking we were going to, so we ended up having to run back to the ship, and that's when we had to eat there, but I don't know.
The embarkation progress was so smooth.
Oh my gosh, I hope that this is one thing that stays even after, if things ever normalize, I hope this is one thing that stays.
You scan and you're off the ship.
I mean, they pretty much, like, you don't even talk to a person. There's like a little photo kiosk thing.
Yeah, customs, they just take your picture.
They tell you to stand in front of the thing, you stay there, it takes your picture, and green light, you go right through.
Yeah, you don't have to specifically, hand your passport to a customs agent. You don't have to talk to him, answer questions, unless, it took my picture and said I had to see an officer. He verified my picture on my passport, and I was good to go.
Yeah, so just make sure you're not wearing a hat or anything. It works pretty good, I think, and the embarkation was just about the same. You have to get, like, the wrist bracelet things, but other than that, you pretty much go through the check-in process.
You do most of that online.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do most of it online before, but, like, you just go in, they verify your information.
Your test results, your vaccination status, and then once you get on board, you do your muster drill on your phone, you just go check into a station, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so it's a very streamlined process. I hope stays around, because once you see this versus the old way, it's night and day.
This process gets an A+. I do want to say one problem we had with Royal Caribbean was my mom had given us a gift card or a gift certificate through Royal Caribbean to use on our cruise to go out one night. It was for $100. And the gift certificate itself says you have to call or go online to have it redeemed to your account no less than 10 days before your cruise. So I went online, said to add it to my onboard account, did that stuff. You don't get any type of receipt, no email, no nothing. It just says it's been added, and that's it. And then 2 days before we leave for the cruise, Eric got an email saying we had a $100 outstanding balance that was due on our room when we had been getting paid in full since we paid for it like 4 months before that.
I paid like the deposit, and then like the next day or something, I paid the whole thing off.
So he went ahead and paid it because it said our cruise was going to be canceled if we didn't pay it. So then the next day he gave him a call and he's like, what's going on? We had this gift card that we applied. Is that the problem? And they said they applied the gift card and that, that will show up as a credit, but then they couldn't seem to find the payment he had to made. So essentially we ended up $100 in the hole for this gift card that we applied.
I ended up paying $100 for the gift card of $100, and their customer service did not help me out. Like, I waited on hold. I was like, no, but they still charged me for the $100. And she's like, well, no, that's what the cruise fare was. I'm like, no, if you add up what I paid plus the deposit, I paid it in the second day. Well, no, sir, you owed $100. I'm like, you could do the math on the thing. They sent me a thing where you could actually link to where the payments were. I could link and see what I paid. I added it up and added to the total fare. They wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that I paid this extra $100 for the gift card that was added for some reason. So I ended up just leaving it alone. We ate $100. It is what it is, but just be mindful if you have a gift card, maybe it might be worth it to see if you could do it online or work with a travel agent to see if they can help you out with something like that. Other than that, that was one real negative thing about Royal. We really liked our cruise, loved it a lot. We weren't as intimidated by the mega ship as we thought we would. It does take a little bit of time to walk back and forth, so just be mindful of your closest elevator and then just, work with that. And also, depending on where you're going, you had to maybe go to the front or the back elevators because the way the Oasis class ships are set up, they have everything from the promenade deck up in the middle of the ship is pretty much open. So there's no real center of the ship elevator. So it's either forward or aft. But that wasn't a problem. By day 2, we were pretty much knew where we had to go for things.
And the elevators were very speedy.
Yeah, they had a bunch of banks and on each side. They're very fast. It wasn't quite as cool as Norwegians tell you where the next floor stop, on their elevator was. But it was kind of cool to see the days in the elevator, although it made you sadder by the end of the week, I think. But other than that, this has been a really long video, so I think if you have anything else, we'll wrap it up here.
If you have any questions for us, feel free to post them below and we'll see if we can answer them for you.
Yeah, if you have any Royal Caribbean questions or cruise questions in general, just drop them below and we'll try to answer them for you.
Other than that, we're out of here.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for making it all the way to this part of the video, guys. If you did, smash that like button. If you're new here and you made it this far, definitely click the subscribe button because you're definitely one of us.
And don't forget to ring the subscription bell so you can get notified when we have travel
ring that
videos.
Notification bell so you definitely get notified when the next video comes out. Other than that, we really enjoyed our Royal Cruise. We really enjoyed making all the videos. We hope you guys enjoyed coming along with us. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace and love.